Good morning, guys. This is Jason at Protective Film Solutions. We're here. It's Friday. It's delivery day, and we've got a few special cars in the shop right now. One in particular, it's a new car. It just came out last year. It's a 2018. It's got a 700 horsepower, 3.8 liter twin turbo boxer engine, 553 pounds of torque. I think you guys already know what it is. It's a GT2 RS, but it's not one, it's 5. So as you guys know already, with the GT2 RS, the 3 RS, and a few other of the specialty Porsches, you can order these in what's called a paint to sample, or PTS. Now, I'm not 100% sure on the names of each of these. I know that I think 3 or 4 of them are PTS colors. I mean, down the line, it's crazy to see all of them in different variations. You can do the different wheels, you can do the different Y-Sock package with the interior, extra carbon fiber bits, all that fun stuff. So let's take a look at each of the cars. So it's one thing to see these cars out at shows, at the dealerships, but it's awesome to see these in the shop. All of them are here just by chance. We didn't schedule them to all be here at the same time by any means. All of them are here for some sort of protection, whether it be Expel Clear Bra, gloss ceramic coating, Clearplex, tint, miscellaneous graphics, you name it. So a little bit of everything here. So the debate back and forth between the GT3 RS versus the 2 RS, it goes on and on and on. Being a naturally aspirated car on the 3 RS versus the 2 RS, obviously that's a huge difference there. Some people really like the turbo on the car. Some people completely hate them. It changes the driving characteristics completely. I just picked up this white 2 RS yesterday from a client, drove back maybe about 20 miles, but brand new, so I couldn't get on it, nor would I since it's the client's car, but you can still feel that the car wants to get up and go. You have some of the characteristics with the blow-off valve, all that fun stuff, but 2 RS or 3 RS, I don't know. I really like a lot of power. I really like the turbos, especially after driving the McLaren for a year now, but it's hard. The GT3 RS I took out on track when we were out in Vegas, and that thing is just glued to the ground. The 2 RS, I would assume and imagine, be the same way. Maybe a little bit more of a monster tame coming out of the corners, but again, I wouldn't know. I've never really driven one of these, so maybe in the near future we can borrow one from either GMG or Borsteiner. So we got the new GT2 RS'S in the shop. These are nuts. Some people still are traditionalists. They like old school, dare I say, which is the 997 we have. And Danny's here because he really likes this car. What's up, Danny?
Hey guys. So take this car for example. We're talking about GT2s and production and numbers and whatnot. This is 2011. This has 620 horsepower. It's a 997. They made 500 of these worldwide. You could have any color that you wanted as long as it was red, black, white, or silver. This car is a monster. It's the last manual transmission GT2 that they made. So, in my opinion, what's going to keep this car more valuable than the 991 2RS's is the fact that there were only 500, and it was the last year of the manual. And if you look back at the most valuable GT2 that was ever made, it's still currently the 993, which was very low in production, arguably less than 300, and it was the last of the air-cooled. So we have two unique situations, with 997 being the last of the manual and the 993 being the last of the air-cooled. I just don't know if there's anything that's going to be special enough about the 991 2RS. 700 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 2.8. I get it that it's a rocket ship, but there's going to end up being over 1,500 of these when we're done, and I just don't know if it's ever going to be a 7-figure car. My opinion.
So, I mean, this car is obviously a special car. It's a Pikes Peak winner, but in general, you think that the 997 in value is going to hold, if not go up more than the 991.2 platform?
There's 499 more of these somewhere else in the world.
Yeah.
Okay. This happens to be a very special one. This broke the record in Pikes Peak. This is a lot more than the $500,000 that most of these RS's are. So this car is unique in its own way. We're lucky to have it. Anybody that's got a 2RS that's a 997 that has moderate mileage, that's in decent unwrecked condition, is sitting on a $500,000 car. And if you look at the numbers, if we're talking about double the price, you're not even getting that out of a Carrera GT right now. And in my opinion, the reason that the CGT got hurt was because of production. Originally, they wanted about 1,500 of the cars made. There's rumored to be about 1,275 that got delivered. And the reason that they cut off production on the rest, we heard, was because of airbag modifications in the United States. So if you take a car like this with the rarity and you post it against a Carrera GT, which arguably, in my opinion, is one of the best Porsches ever made, the thing that's hurting the CGT price is the production numbers. You've got an amazing supercar that absolutely should be 7 figures by now, but they made too many. They're going to make more of the 2RS's than they are with the CGTs. Is it a mistake? I don't know. Is it Porsche smacking down these car collectors that are trying to charge over market right now for the cars? I think so. Is this the aftermath of the 911Rs going for almost $1 million when they had $185,000 MSRPs? Listen, Porsche said that they did not expect that car to do that in the secondary market. And that's the main reason, in my opinion, that the GT3 Touring came out. You got 500 horsepower against 500 horsepower. You got a manual transmission against a manual transmission. Granted, the 911R does have some special features, higher rev, carbon fiber fenders, and whatnot. But the 911R is not an $800,000 or $900,000 car. And the market corrected itself as soon as they announced that the GT3 Touring was going to come out. And Porsche admittedly said that they knew that it was going to upset a lot of these supercar owners. But if you're buying a car for that much over sticker in the secondary market, it's not a stock. If you want to speculate on something, go buy Apple or Tesla or whatever you want to do. These are cars that are meant to be driven. So Porsche said you get $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 out of a 911R. It sits in the garage instead of gets out there and is driven on the road. So I think this is Porsche's way of saying we're going to make as many of these cars as the demand will allow. We're going to let everybody enjoy them. That's the reason there's 8 different factory colors on the 2RS right now and 1 million different paint samples. I think they're trying to make everybody happy, and they're trying to put an ass in every seat that can afford to buy a car like that. So in my opinion, this is the long-term play. Maybe I'm wrong. I just don't think so.
So you guys have seen this car around the shop. I don't know if you've heard it yet. So we've had this car for about a month. The owner was in no rush. He wanted everything done right. It came in, it was thrashed. This is the Pikes Peak car. We know that Patrick Long, Jeff Swart, all the professional drivers drove it. Client had us do a full teardown. We took off all the PPF, did all new graphics on it. So it looks gorgeous, but it's still in original condition as far as the placement of graphics and everything else. So this car is actually getting loaded up on the tow truck and going back to the owner up north. So we're excited to see this in Monterey and possibly a few shows, and then maybe eventually we can do a drive in this car. So in the meantime, watch Danny trying to get out of it.
There's more room on a Southwest flight than a son of a bitch, but it's amazing, and we love it.
Yeah. Just like that, the car is loaded up with Mr. C's Towing, as always, going back to LA, and again, we really hope to see this car soon. But in the meantime, the blue GT2 RS, we did get permission from the owner to go ahead and take it out for a spin. Danny's driving. I'm not looking forward to this. I don't think I've ever been in the car with him driving, except for in his truck, so we'll see how interesting this is. But so they're gonna let you drive?
Let's do it. Okay, so we're driving in a 2 RS right now, 991. This is a 2019. It's one of our guest cars, so thank you for letting us use it. It's amazing, and there's no question at all, it's the most comfortable and the quickest RS that's been made to date. My concern is, though, after receiving the production numbers from Porsche, they've made 1,057 of these cars just last year, and that's literally like February 1st, 2019. These were the production cars that just came to Northern America. 949 of those cars came here to the United States. About 95% of them had the YSIC package on it. 75% of those people kicked in for the upgraded magnesium wheels. And I don't know, there's going to be a lot of them. If we keep making production into 2019, we're going to see 1,500, 1,600, 1,800 cars. That'll be the highest production of a GT2 model ever in history, even more than the 996, which I think was 1,284 or 5. Mind you, those cars are about 150 grand right now.
Yeah.
Partially because of the production numbers. Secondly, because they needed to fire whoever made those headlights. That was a horrible decision.
The egg drop lights.
I'm glad we got back to basics and kept a lot of the Porsche heritage on that.
Absolutely.
So anyways, that being said, you know, I don't know how much supply and demand is there going to be for something that there's 1,800 of just here in the United States. Maybe I'm wrong.
So do you think, with that being said, that the over sticker price is going to continue, or do you think it's going to drop and go back to at MSRP or below even? Dare I say that?
I'm going to go back to my same conclusion. If you're lucky enough to get one of these things from the dealership for MSRP, I think you're always going to be okay.
Yeah.
If you're in the secondary market and you're paying big money for these cars over sticker, I think you're going to get hurt. We're already seeing these online right now for 25 to 50 over if it's not a paint to sample color. If it is PTS, you're still $50,000 to $75,000 over. So do I think it's going to settle down even more as production increases? Absolutely. I think these cars have some room to go down. Now, if you're rich enough to afford this car, you probably don't care and you want the experience and the price for having something a few months early. I don't know, maybe $40,000 or $50,000 doesn't mean anything to you. But for guys that are out looking for these cars to keep these forever or think these going to be collector cars, I'm going to lean back to the 2011. That's certainly less comfortable and certainly slower, actually, too. And I think that's still a better investment long term. I mean, they're not that far off. You got a 205 mile an hour top speed on the 2011, and you've got a 211 mile an hour top speed on this car. 0 to 60 is much different. You got 3.5 on the 997, and this is around 2.8. This is the king of the ring right now, and that does give it a lot of street cred. And really, Porsche being my favorite car, pound for pound and dollar for dollar, you can't get a better car than this car anywhere for the price. This kicks the piss out of 7-figure cars on the ring. So, you know, there's a lot to be said for that. So this is probably the favorite in my list car-wise. I just don't think it's going to be $1 million car.
Yeah, and so the stats are unreal on this. Again, we're going to see where the car goes over the next year as far as value goes. So talk about driving the car. You've driven a 2 RS before. Is this the first time?
Yeah, I've driven a 2 RS before.
So with having that PDK and all the controls, and down here you can adjust
open valve exhaust, the front lift. You can do a PDK Sport on the shifting.
It's hard to argue with that.
Yeah, just
That's
pulls.
amazing. It's amazing. It's scary.
And
It's
versus
so scary.
the 3 RS, which is still a fast car, and the 2 RS, just once you get in it, it's got some play moves.
It's not like this. And listen, a lot of people have said they don't know if it's worth the extra money. A lot of people really love the 3 RS right now. A lot of people say the 3 RS sounds better. That's why there's multiple models, multiple options, everyone. If you've got the money to play like this, you can be picky. We've got guests that have one of each. You know, they've got the 3 RS, they've got the 2 RS, but we're seeing a lot more people drive their 2 RSs because I think they're coming to the realization they're not going to be an investment. It's recreational. Porsche wants you guys to get in the car and go have fun. And I think the normal guys like us are going to see a lot more of these on the road because of it. So the 400 or 500 people that might have won if this was a very limited production car, sure, maybe they would have been better off and they could put it in their garage with the 30 other cars that they have. But for the rest of the people in the world, I don't think seeing a few thousand of these is a bad deal. You know, I mean, if you look back at the 993 RS, most people have never seen one of those. I mean, that's great that it's a $1 million+ sports car right now, but when have you seen one? When have you seen a 964 package car? That's over $1 million also. Some of the older model RS's. I mean, a lot of those just can't be driven anymore because they're too valuable of assets. So now we've kind of got a little bit more of a, I don't want to say people's car. You guys don't crucify me for that. But something that's a little more available to people to see at the Cars and Coffees, the car shows, and let everybody get out and enjoy the car. You want to get creative, paint a sample. This one's amazing. It's completely customized. You're going to pay, what, 12 to 15 grand over if you're lucky enough to get a special color. 20% of the RSs here in the United States right now are paint to sample. I mean, we've seen acid greens, we've seen deep sea blues, we've seen the variations of greens, we've seen a lot of different colors. Of the 8 colors that are available from the factory in this car, the GT Silver is the most popular.
Yeah.
And the Lava Orange is the least popular. Lava Orange is 1%. And I was wrong on this. I called this wrong. I thought the Miami Blue was going to end up being like the Lizard Green in the RS's. Miami Blue is only 5% of the allotment here in the United States right now. 5%. So you've got your yellow that's more popular. You've got your Guards Red that's more popular. Right after the GT Silver is actually the black. And the black's roughly about 20%. You've got your chalk, you've got your whites. So you do have variation. You have a lot more variation than the 997. And then from there, you know, you can take it to the moon on the paint to sample colors, like this one is. So I think that this is a funner car. I think it's a better car. I think it's a more exciting car, but it's certainly a more popular car also. So I think that this car is going to settle down somewhere around MSRP. I think it's going to stay there for a little while. And listen, if you can drive a car like this for a couple years, not put a ton of miles on it, and still sell it for close to what you paid for it, God bless you. I mean, that's not a bad deal. I just don't think this is something that you're going to put in the garage for a couple years and send all your grandkids to college. I don't see it happening. There's too many of them. There's too many. So, and maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But
time will tell.
Yeah, we're going to see. But I got a pretty good feeling on this. But I was wrong in the Miami Blue also. So, you know, and really, listen, we're going to go back into the southern portion of our shop. You guys really don't see that much. We just expanded. We're going to start posting that more. And I'll show you. We've got a lot of painted samples in the shop right now. We've got some crazy reds. We've got a lot of normal cars too in there. The normal GT2 RS's. We've got a white in there right now. We've got a yellow in there right now. We've got a Guards Red in there right now. They're almost like Hondas in our shop, you know, which makes me so happy. I love seeing the cars. I think we're going to see a lot more of them. I think we're going to see them for a lot longer.
Absolutely. Well,
which is great news for everybody.
Yeah. Maybe one of the days I can afford it, and we'll get you out of driving Raptors and trucks. But
until then, we'll just enjoy our customers' cars, right?
Absolutely. Thanks again for letting us take the car out. Let's go back into the shop right now.
So that was a fun drive. Thank you so much to the owner of this car. Obviously, we didn't take out and rip on it. We just took it out and kind of cruise to get a feel for it. You can tell the car's a monster. It really wants to get up and go. So, Danny, with driving this car and then the 997, personal favorite, which one are you going to go with?
For driving, I'm going to say the 991. I think absolutely, without a doubt, it's an amazing car. So
Wait, hold on. What are you doing?
for driving, well, I'm freezing balls here. It's Southern California and it's like 50 degrees. So I'm trying
He's
to
got
warm
a-
up
he's got
while
a
we're doing the
heater.
video. So
Jesus, man.
that's
But-
not the point.
No.
So anyways, you guys let us know in the comments below. Tell us what you think. Am I right? Am I wrong? Give us your feedback. It's important to us. Also, let us know the other things we could be doing to make the videos better and more exciting for you guys. Take care. We'll see you soon.